Good morning. Well, we're present once again at CeBIT. We are the partner country this year round. And this testifies to the good cooperation between Japan and Germany in the significant field of IT. The Internet of Things, IoT, produces a wealth of data, and these data are linked up with one another. Data are generated, are stored, data are analyzed and used, and this is something that needs to be driven adequately. Now I'm talking about both of the manufacturing industry. It's also relevant for the agribusiness, for healthcare, for medicine, and also for care. So, you know, no area in society is exempt from this development. We should look at all areas in order to solving problems in society. So this is a problem, or this is a concept rather, which we have termed Society 5.0. Under this headline, Society 5.0, administration and the industry are working together. And we've also come up with a concept which you can see at our pavilion, create a new concept, Japanese Society 5.0. So this is what it's all about. Now you will be able to look at different exhibitions at our Japanese pavilion. Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0 are things that we want to put into practice. This will lead to a number of challenges to be overcome. You know, it's important for business and administration to work together, to join forces in order to put this into practice. At this year's CeBIT at the Japan Summit, we would like to discuss with you how these problems, how these future problems can best be solved. Last year, as you may recall, the G7 ICT ministerial meeting after 21 years took place in Japan for the first time. And this year, the G20 ICT ministerial meeting will be hosted in Germany. That'll take place in April. So I think it only makes sense that Germany and Japan should work together in order to allow for a free traffic of data. And it's on this basis that we intend to bring about economic growth. The Japan Summit at CeBIT and CeBIT in general should be used to foster the cooperation between Japan and Germany, but also between Japan and the European Union and the world indeed. Thank you very much. The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Mori. Mr. Mori is the Director General for International Cyber Economy Policy at the Ministry for Economic Trade and Industry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your kind words of introduction. Now, at this year's CeBIT, at the Japan Summit, well, the summit is a meeting point for industry leaders and for all stakeholders from the industry. And this is why I'm very happy to be given the opportunity to address you here this morning. Now, let me tell you that the G7 ICT ministerial meeting in Kakamatsu, and I met the Undersecretary of State, Machnig, at the airport, and I still have a very fond recollection of this meeting. As I said, this April, the ICT ministerial meeting of the G20 states will be hosted in Düsseldorf in Germany. And I would like to tell you how important it is for us to continue the good cooperation with Germany, who will have the presidency of this year's meeting. Now, Japan is the partner country of this year's CeBIT, which is why I would like to thank you. I would like to thank Germany. Germany is very active on the front when it comes to Industry 4.0. And there's lots of strong industrial leaders in Germany. On the other hand, Japan has also come up with a number of solutions, flexible solutions to problems that we need to overcome in the future. You know, I'm talking about industry and manufacturing, for example. Yesterday, we signed the Hanover Declaration in the presence of the Federal Minister Supris and the Minister Seko, and the Minister Takaichi was also present during the signing ceremony. Now, this is intended to drive industrial cooperation under the heading of a connected industry. We want to put this into practice, and this will allow for a wide range of fields where we can intensify our cooperation. Now, of course, this approach should not only be limited to Germany and Japan. We intend to expand this cooperation also at the level of the European Union. Free traffic of data should be ensured at a global level. This is also what we discussed during the G7 ministerial meeting. At the Japanese pavilion, you will be able to see our new approach, Create a New World, Society 5.0. This is a new approach. It involves the creation of a super smart society, and this is what this concept is all about. 118 companies are present at this year's CeBIT, which is the highest number of companies being represented from a partner country. So you'll be able to see a lot of new creative ideas there. Well, I would like to take the opportunity at CeBIT to reaffirm the cooperation between Germany and Japan. It's important for both countries to act as leaders and to play a pioneering role in realizing the ICT society. This year, this autumn, CeBIT will be hosted in Japan, which will give us another excellent opportunity to intensify and to continue the cooperation which is started here at CeBIT. So feel free to see us at the Japanese pavilion, because we'd like to encourage you to keep using ICT, and we'd also like to show you the hands-on examples in terms of IT from Japanese companies. Thank you very much for bearing with me. The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, will be a representative from Germany. Matthias Machnig will be speaking from the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. Mr. Machnig, you have the floor. Mr. Lienert, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mori, first of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our friends from Japan. Let me tell you how happy we are to have you here. I think if you've ever had the opportunity to look at the Japanese pavilion, you will have realized one thing. Japan is definitely one of the leaders in terms of digitization. Japan is one of the few countries that has understood that digitization is the very condition for keeping one's competitiveness in years to come. And I think there's a wide range of areas of cooperation between Japan and Germany, in particular in this field. Mrs. Suzuki was one of the previous speakers, and I would like to thank him quite personally. Back in 2015, he visited me, and he talked to me about the following idea. He wanted to host a ICT ministerial meeting in the framework of the G7, and this made me think about his idea. And I thought about whether or not Germany, during its G20 presidency, could perhaps host a ICT meeting, which we are now going to do in April this year. I would like to thank my Japanese colleagues for the upfront work they've done at the G7 level. We will certainly take up your ideas and proposals to continue them in the G20 ministerial meeting. ICT will have to rely on international cooperation. Openness is required, data security. We don't need walls, we need openness. Digitization can only be realized in this way. It relies on cooperation, openness, and this should be the common understanding that we should have regarding ICT, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Japan and Germany have embarked on a similar path to digitization. They think about platforms, and platforms do play an important role, which is why we've come up with a white book on the digital platform regulation. But both in Japan and Germany, we focus on one thing primarily. We are wondering how the digital potentials can be integrated in the value creation of our national economies. How can we make sure that we can create digital value in the industry, in manufacturing? How can we create new services? And this is a challenge that we both have in common, which we need to tackle in the years to come. A few days ago, a high-ranking Cisco representative, a member of the management board, spoke at the conference in Germany, and he said something great, which I would like to quote for you. He said, and I quote loosely, "In America, they talk a lot about the Internet of Things. However, I must note that there is a lot of Internet in the United States, but only few things." And he's right, spot on. And this is where Japan and Germany come in. This is where their opportunities lie. That's the opportunity for South Korea. So let's join forces. Let's try and make sure that industrial value creation also incorporates new offerings in terms of, smart living and similar things. These are our plans for the next few years, because we need real, tangible products. It's not good enough to have theoretical products. We need real, hands-on products to make our lives easier and better. And I hope that CeBIT 2017 will send out a signal to the effect that in Germany and Japan have embarked on the path to the future in terms of ICT. Yesterday, a new cooperation agreement was signed. We've termed it Hanover Declaration, which reaffirms our cooperation. We intend to intensify our cooperation in a number of specific fields. We're talking about artificial intelligence, data analysis, for example, because data economy without data analysis will only result in a wealth of data which you cannot put to use, which is why you need to smartly analyze the data that are available, because this is the very precondition to be able to read and use data and to ultimately come up with new business models and services. And this is what is going to be one of the primary focus of our cooperation. We also intend to work together in driverless driving projects. Japan is a leader in the automotive industry, same goes for Germany, and autonomous driving, driverless driving will be a key skill in the future. So this is yet another area where we intend to cooperate. And hopefully we'll be able to come up with good answers, not only at the regulatory level, but also at a corporate level, because after all, it's going to have to be the companies that will drive development. Politics can only provide the general framework. So I'm looking forward to our continued cooperation. I'm looking forward to the Digital Ministers Conference, and there's one thing that I'm quite sure about. Together with Japan, we will try and make sure that those who are not fully convinced of the fact that we need a digital agenda for the G20, for our continued work at the level of the G20 countries. Because after Germany, Argentina will take over the G20 presidency. And I think that Argentina will be very happy to continue on the foundation that we lay, and I'm certain that Japan and Germany will make a huge effort to drive this effort. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. Let me thank you for the good and trusting cooperation that we've enjoyed so far, and I hope that CeBIT will send out a clear signal to the effect that we intend to go into the future of digitization together. We're looking for partnership, we're looking for cooperation, because many questions in the 21st century can only be solved if we join forces. So more cooperation will be required, and I think this is a very important signal to go out from CeBIT. And I'm also convinced that many companies represented here, both from Germany and Japan, will be able to join forces when it comes to finding answers to the challenges that constantly arise. There will also be a lot of opportunity for corporate cooperation, so all the best to you, and thank you for bearing with me.